All right, you know what it be. Miss Chantell has to check the programming and see if the volume is working right quick. Yes, indeed. I hope you people out there been having a good day thus far. Most definitely having a wonderful day. I don't see the alert. Interesting. Let me see. I know I set it at public this time. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, it says live. Okay, let me see the volume. Huh. Testing, 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 testing. All right, that sounds pretty good. All right. Okay, so I can go ahead and get into my yapping now. Like I was saying, I hope you guys are doing good out there in the YouTube world. We got some crazy stuff going on out here. Ooh, I got a lot to yap about. Hold on, let me get back to my music. Honey, mm, mm, mm. You know what I had? The last thing I came across. I'm gonna start with that. The last thing I came across on 1 second. I hope my music is not too loud. So the last thing I came across on the YouTube streets before I started this stream a few hours ago. I don't want this to be too loud, but listen, the last thing I came across was the fact that, and I say it's a fact, the fact that we have some things that's coming about, and that is the deportations of the Haitians and Venezuelans. Yeah. So I know for the Haitians it's ending in let me see, July, August. I think it's ending September the 2nd coming up. And I thought to myself, oof, just give me the jitters. Because I know it's a whole lot of people that do not want to go back to their country, because um, they still have having some issues over there. And the people don't want to go back. Um, I don't think it's just the barbecue guy, but I think it's some uh, lacking opportunity still. Okay. And that's a lot of people to accommodate at once, considering things aren't very good at the moment. So I don't know if Trump is going to give money to, because the other people he was deporting, he was giving the country money to help get them established. Like once they land, he was giving them like 3 million, which I happen to think that's a nice thing to do. He doesn't have to do that. He can send them home with nothing. But he was giving the country like 3 million to help those that's returning back home. Help feed them and stuff like that. And again, I think that's a nice thing, because listen, some people probably wouldn't have done that. Okay. I'm gonna turn this down. I think it's loud. Yeah, some people probably wouldn't have done that. And so I think he's going to do that for the Haitians as well, because he's been doing it for the other people that was deported to other countries. So they'll have a little help right there. Um, but I was reading it's gonna be like 500,000. And I'm like, what, half a million? But I think the breakdown is there was 260,000 that came under the Biden administration during that time. I think that's the ones that's really going to be, have been leaving. I'm not quite sure, but I know as a whole collective in America, it listed 500,000, and they having a whole lot of discussion online about it. That the Haitians aren't going to leave voluntarily because they're fighters and warriors. Well, see, the difference now is that in Haiti during that time, there were no military forces. It was a few Frenchmen, okay? And their biracial children, they call Creole, that they had put in charge of everything. So it wasn't like a full fledged war on war type of thing. It was just them proclaiming their freedom and taking it, which was good. Okay. This is different because now they're on American soil where they're outnumbered. Okay. And American forces is pretty much I believe they got the biggest military. You understand what I'm saying? And weaponry. So, yeah, in my honest opinion, I think it's going to get ugly because a lot of people, it's just not going to go smoothly. It is a very hard thing to do to try to force somebody back into what they consider shambles. And it's like dropping somebody off in the middle of nowhere, okay? Especially when they have kids. That, that's not going to be easy to do. Like, I don't think nobody's going to smoothly just be like, okay, even though, um, with numbers, I believe there's strength in numbers. When you have numbers, you have unity, you have different heads that's my brains that's being put together, and you can survive. You can think and survive. That's when your survival instincts kick in. And you're going to come up with something on how to survive. How do you think Africans survive in poor countries? This is one of the things that it had Caucasians perplexed for a long time. They would go to Africa, to these very poor areas where people had no food. Now, they wouldn't help them. They would go to study how the hell they surviving. How the heck they surviving? Hold on, let me close my Bible. I have my Bible open right here. My hair cussing a mess. Okay, but they would go to some of these very poor areas in Africa and study how these people surviving with literally nothing, just living in a ditch in the dirt. That's it. They were eating the dirt. Y'all know it's true. But anyways, the dirt, come to find out, the clay had all the minerals that the body needs to stay functioning healthily. It's like eating veggies. If your diet consists of eating veggies from the ground, veggies and stuff that grow from the tree in the ground, you pretty much that's a healthy diet. Okay, I don't like to say diet, but that's a healthy eating habit right there. And your body is going to really function very well because anybody who's ever eating vegetables for a week straight, just vegetables and fruit, you know that your body is going to experience some great things. You're going to have clarity, you're going to have energy, you're going to feel awesome. Trust me, I speak from experience, okay? I've done fasting since I was in high school, 21-day no food fasting since I was in high school. I usually do at least once a year. And when I come off the fasting, I go into at least for a week straight. I never really got past 2 weeks eating just veggies and fruit, but at least 1 week straight after my 21-day fast, and I would eat veggies and fruit only. And I mean veggies and fruit only. And it is the most, I can't even describe the feeling. It's like you have a superpower. You're full of energy, clarity, happiness. Just wow. So I speak from experience when I say when you eat healthy, you are a lot of us in this country in America is very much nutrient deficient. Period. They've done so many studies on people that came up with, they say had cancer, and the people went and changed their diet and their leafy green juices and stuff, and they went back and the doctor said, "Oh, we don't see anything." So anyway, back to what I was the point. These people in Africa were eating the dirt, even though they didn't have veggies growing from it or a tree they can pluck a fruit. The dirt itself holds the nutrients as well. Hello, that's where the food comes from. I hate when these commercials come on. So, the European doctors were like, okay, they figured it out. They're like, wait a minute. Wow, the nutrients are in the dirt as well as the food. How the fuck they found out that dirt don't kill you if you eat it? Because there were African people eating dirt. I'm not going to say dirt, let's say clay. Okay. And now, guess what? They sell that clay around the world. And guess what? People eat clay, and some people actually crave clay, especially people with anemic issues. I deal with that, but I crave ice. Got to keep your iron level up. I crave ice. Some women crave that clay dirt. Yeah, that's how they found out that the dirt doesn't kill you if you eat it, because they went, found some poor people, studied them, didn't help them, wanted to see if they die off and whatever. And the people didn't die off, and they're like, now wait a minute, what the hell is going on here? And here come to find out the dirt holds minerals and nutrients and stuff that the body needs to function, not just the food that grow from it, but the dirt, the soil itself hold nutrients as well. That makes sense. The food grows from it. Okay. I don't know if you guys ever tried, like, this ain't my topic. I just kind of got off topic a little bit. I'm gonna be real quick with this, but I don't know if you guys ever tried, like, um, I try a lot of herbal remedies and stuff like that. I like to see what it does. I'm totally into herbs and stuff like that. And so different ones I try once at a time to see how it works on the body. And everybody is different. Like recently I've been drinking okra water. It works. But for me, it gives me a little cramp and a little bloating. But it definitely flushes the body and it does work. But I'm backed off because I can't do anything that give me little cramps or whatever. Mm-mm, it's not for me. But yeah, so I tried different herbs to see how it works for me. And some things work great. Point being is that eating healthy is good for you. And I'm trying to get back to why I said all of that, back to the main point. That's why I don't like to stray from the topic. But oh, I was talking about how Europeans studied Africans who ate dirt because they were that poor or in poverty that they were eating. I'm saying dirt, but really it's clay. Let's call it clay. Okay. So, um, speaking back to my main topic, this deportation issue that's coming up, I don't think it's going to be smooth at all. It's going to be very ugly. And I'm going to try to stay on point here. It's going to be very ugly because nobody is going to smoothly go somewhere where there's lacking, everything is lacking housing, food. They're lacking everything over there right now with their children. And it's a bunch of violence going on right now. That's not going to be transitioning at all. And guess what? Trump knows this. And Trump, you guys keep thinking this man is to be played with. He's a man of war. You do understand he's a war minded man. Listen, some people don't know character traits. If you know character traits, you should know character traits. If you grew up around humans, you should be able to pick up on people's character traits. But listen, Trump, his character traits is a man of war. Okay. He's almost like bully. You understand what I'm saying? And so, one reason, and he's happy to drop bombs. Okay. That's what I'm saying. So, I don't think this is going to be a smooth transition as with the Haitian and the Venezuelans. I think it's going to turn very ugly, people. I really do. And because, like I said, nobody's going to just voluntarily get up, hop on a plane, and go somewhere where it's going to be bad for them and their children. You're talking about, like, if they were single, no kids, I'm quite sure it's nothing, right? Because you can always find your way back or something, go somewhere else. But when you got children with you, you know, you need stability, and it's different when you have children with you. You need to make sure you're in a safe zone, you know? So, I mean, if the shoe was on the other foot, I don't know what I would do, but I can tell you it's gonna get ugly, that's for sure. Now, here's the scoop. Again, Trump already knows that they're not going to just get up and voluntarily go. He's put out all the offerings. He's offered to give them $1,000 if they self deport, and to just sign this paper, or he's offered so many different things, right? And I told y'all on the live stream a while back. I said, one second. I just looked. Let me see. Private chat, destinations layout. Um, okay, so I told you guys a while back that once he has offered so much for illegal people or whoever he catches and deem illegal, because it's not just people that's illegal, undocumented, it's people that came during the Biden administration. He getting rid of all of them too. Okay, some people walking around like, oh no, I got papers, I'm good. Shit, what? Okay, that's why people scared, because it's not just illegals. It's people that has papers that's been approved, and they like, nah, you're not approved no more. hmm and that's why people is scared. So, anyways, um, what was I saying? He knows it's not going to be a smooth transition. And so he's preparing. As you can see, they were on the news talking about um, alligator Alcatraz. And he was excited about it. Okay. He understands very well that they're not going to go voluntarily or just, he understands that shit. And trust me, they have more camps they're setting up as well because they're not going to house women and men and children together. That Alcatraz is probably for the men. Talking about, yeah, we got swamp and alligators all around. So try jumping in and escaping. So basically, he's letting it be known that if you don't leave, this is where you're going to end up on Alcatraz, Alligator Alcatraz Island Detention Center. Now, the women and children is going to be housed somewhere else. So, of course, they have more camps they're setting up quietly. It's just common sense, right? So, again, um, it's not going to be smooth sailing. And, Venezuelans ain't, they, they ain't about to go smoothly either. No, they're not. And so, shit is gonna hit the fan and get crazy to me. I mean, just talking about it makes me go, yeah. If I had a place in Canada, I'd probably step over there until it's said and done. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not gonna be lovely at all. So this is what I think. I think that because he has offered so many things to get them to come voluntarily self-deport and come out and self-deport, he's going to be able to invoke martial law because once he's going to be able to say, I've offered this, and this, and this, even giving them, offered them money to leave, but yet they refuse to leave. Now, here's where martial law comes in because the people that's here already, that's American citizens, I mean, they hold American citizenship, like a lot of these people, relatives, they hold American citizenships. A lot of these people, tribal men, when I say tribal men, from the same race, they they're gonna help them. Hello, ding dong, and Trump knows that. He knows that their people are gonna help them. He knows that not just their people, they're gonna have Caucasians helping too. People, they're gonna help. Agencies, churches, they're gonna try to help. But guess what? Trump knows that. He knows that. And so you know what he's gonna do? Like I said, I think that's gonna be his time where he can call out martial law to take control of the situation. Martial law comes out, they put over all the government facilities and everything. They just pretty much go in society and take control over society. They run the communities, no longer run by the general population or public, but the military forces is going to run it. And if that happens, surely shit is going to be crazy because guess what? Everybody going to be scrambling for, you're going to have to get documented and proof and shit to do anything. Everybody going to be scared around this camp, including Caucasians now. They got a lot of them that's illegal too. Everybody gonna be questioned. Okay, especially if they got any kind of immigrant background, especially if the ass has been on social media pushing anti-American propaganda. They're kicking people out of the country left and right that's pushing anti-American propaganda or that's on that Israel thing, the people that's fighting with Israel. Ooh, They kicking them all off the school, the universities and stuff. Man, let them graduate my ass. Mm-mm. They kicking them out. One girl was only a semester away from graduating. Mm-mm. So yeah, it's going down. And I think that's what it's headed to if the people rebel. If they do not, we're talking 500,000 Haitians here that TPS is ending for. That's a lot of people, sweetheart. I don't even know how many Venezuelans is here, but a lot of them is here too. I think it was 200,000 of them as well that came during the Biden administration. Pretty much everybody that came during Biden administration, he wants out. So that means if they got papers, uh, I was reading something where you can be eligible and approved. Either which way, he's still just he knocking them off. Anybody came under Biden administration, he's redoing what Trump, what Obama and Biden set in place. He's revoking all of it. Everything Obama did. He went into the systems, halted, and removed all the LGBT programs from every government program that was funded LGBT. Trump had it removed. He halted the whole system just to remove the mess. I don't know if he's going to get the Obama health care removed, but he's undoing everything Obama did and Biden. So yeah. Um, Now I don't know what's going on for him assisting the American citizens. I think seems like he's trying to give it a year to get rid of the undocumented folks and people that he feels shouldn't be in a country. But during that time, the American citizens is really having a hard time. They're having a hard time, a lot of his supporters. They're like, what are you doing about inflation? How are you helping the American people as you stated you would? So at this point, a lot of people feel duped, not just blacks, not just Latinos, but Caucasians as well. Okay. So we don't know what to expect coming up, but in my opinion, it won't be a easy task. These people are not leaving. Um, it's just not going to be a smooth transition at all. Yeah. So that's what I had seen recently on the news that I wanted to dip into. Now, now concerning the festival, the Essence Festival, there was an African guy that bought the Essence Festival. And he bought the Essence. I mean, he bought Essence from Timeshare. I think it was called Time or Timeshare. He purchased Essence from a white corporation. It had already been sold off to a white corporation called Time, I believe. And then eventually Time was looking to sell it. This man, a Liberian, he was looking to purchase, oh, that truck is loud. He was looking to purchase um some black corporation, I guess. But anyways, let's back it up a little. First of all, this Liberian guy, he owns Shea Butter, and It was under the corporation Sundial. And he sold his corporation, Shea Butter, to a white owned company. Y'all follow that? He sold his Shea Butter company to a white corporation that also owned a lot of other skincare products, like Dove and a bunch of other skincare products this white corporation owned. And that African guy sold his Shea Butter company under Sundial Corporation. He sold his to them, to the white corporation. And I believe he got like, the company was worth like about a couple of million maybe. I gotta look it up again. Let me go back to this. Let me see. Because the company was worth a few $1,000,000. And he sold it for more. Yes, for more than what it was worth. A lot of times they go like that. You know what I mean? Because the people think ain't nobody gonna buy your company if they don't think they can make money off your company. Duh. So they buy your company from you a little more than what is actually worth because they believe that your company is going to bring more revenue to them because they're going to promote the hell out of it. When I say promote, they're going to market the hell out of it. Okay. Hello. Okay. Hold on. And so, um, let me get back to, let me pull it up so I can give you the right information rather than trying to remember. Let me go to it a second. Yeah, so when it comes to business, it's not about race, baby. Okay? We gotta know that. When it comes to doing business, baby, if you wanna make millions, you gotta, open yourself up to doing businesses with other corporations. I mean, that's just common sense, right? So when it comes to business people, it's never ever about race. It's about business. Unless there's some type of personal, you know, issue there, then it would be a racial thing. But if it's not a personal issue with the people, race doesn't play a factor in doing business. Listen, if I had a business and a white corporation wanted to buy my skincare business, which I created for Black women, they wanted to buy it for 50 million, but right now I'm only holding 4 million from it. Do you think I won't do it? Are you crazy? Hold on a second. That is how they were able to buy a lot of Black American inventions that Black Americans, listen, in this country, 95% of everything created in this country that's used every day was created by Black Americans. Traffic light, elevator doors, doorknobs, security systems, gas masks, baby strollers, god dang it, a bunch of stuff. Stove, refrigerator, stuff that they duped the people out of. They they duped the people out of because they were stealing their patents and shit, pretending to be patent lawyers, stealing their patents, and I mean it was a whole kind of and white folks off the hook. They were stealing the hell out of Black American inventions. Sadly, people don't even know the telephone was invented by a Black man. He sold the patent to a white guy before he can even claim glory for it. He sold it, and of course they would sell it. Why not? Because listen, usually an inventor or let's say engineer, I like engineer or pioneer. Let's say a engineer, a person that invents something. If they can get $1 million from it, so they can continue. Usually, those type of people they working on multiple projects. They never have just one project. And so, if they can get $1 million for that particular invention to fund their other projects, they're gonna sell. And hopefully, before they sell, they're acknowledged as being a true inventor. Okay. cell phone, caller ID, three-way calling, all that, Black woman. Fiber optic material, Black woman. Not African, Black woman. Our presence in this country, our stamp in this country is heavy. All throughout technology, all throughout the medical industry, blood bank, first doctor to separate Siamese twins, first doctor to um, give a person a heart pacer, like an artificial heart, and many more. Do you know they had a doctor at Johns Hopkins Hospital in New York? It's one of the top hospitals in the country. There was a Black man who showed the top surgeons how to perform surgeries. This man had no degree. He was gifted. He taught them. They did finally acknowledge him. And you can go read about him. Okay. So it's so many inventions that like people got duped out of. But again, the stamp of Black American inventions is heavy, heavy, heavy in this country. Do you understand me? Our music, it's a whole bunch of stuff. We influence this country would be bored as fuck without us. Excuse me. But it would be like living in a Switzerland somewhere. But it's not because of us. I'm just saying. All right. So back to the point. I was talking about the African guy that bought the essence, that purchased essence. I want to make sure I don't misspeak about his, because I liked him when I was reading about him. I can't lie, Miss Chantell. Give credit where credit is due, baby. I'm not one of those people that be like, I just can't see good in anybody but my own. No, I'm not like that. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. If I see somebody that's doing some hell of a moves and hell of a things, especially to benefit their communities or to try to help Black people globally, I'm gonna hooray! Especially a Black man. We know that Black women, we are the birth, we are the listen as a Black woman, American woman, ADOS FBA, we birth our nation, our tribe of people. So we're going to be proud of that. That's our children that we birth and bring forth. Just like Nigerians, they birth the people of Nigeria. So the women, what I'm saying is that the women is always more loyal to the nation or the tribe. Today they say ethnic group. We don't say tribe in America. We say ethnic group. So the women are more loyal to the ethnic group. Okay. So when we do have Black men that show loyalty to their ethnic group, that's a wonderful thing to see. Especially Black men, because a lot of them deal with inferiority complexes. A lot of them feel that life will be easier with a non-Black woman because they're not seen as, fully Black family. Unfortunately, it's like that. That's the truth, though. I'm only spewing what's true. Only a strong-minded Black man who don't desire to be the white man's chosen token piece and all that and trying to get up in the white man's nest and family. Only that kind of man would make a baby with a Black woman, that's especially a dark-skinned Black woman. Yeah, unfortunately, some of our men run from themselves. They run from their blackness. Okay. So when we get a black man that's true to his ethnic group, to be helpful to his, you know how we always say, go home and build your country, go back and help. That's a wonderful thing. And that's what we expect you to do. If you have come up as a success from your ethnic group, we expect you to turn around and go back and help. Listen, Black America have no respect for those that don't turn around and help slightly. I don't know, I'm gonna take that statement back because to me, I suggest not to support any black male or woman that come up from their ethnic group and don't turn around and help. I do not believe in supporting such a person. And that person will need your support to thrive in this atmosphere of America. Because to be black and rich and only be a few, that's not a good thing. You see R. Kelly, Puffy, they need black support. R. Kelly appealed to his people when he went on Gayle King's show. He wasn't appealing to Caucasians. He was appealing to his people to support him. He was pleading to them that he's innocent, support me. And he's always showed love to his community. Loyal brother. Okay. So a lot of them, eh, unfortunately, there's only a few black, really rich black people. And they're in that boat about 20. That's not a lot. You need to help your people do an upcoming so you can have them on your team. Numbers equal power. I hope you understood that. So if I was to become rich, I'm definitely about to recruit some folks because numbers equal power, baby. That's how the white people do it. Okay. So back to my title, what I was saying, because I don't want to get this man information mixed up. Let's bring it up. Yeah, what I had read about him was pretty good thus far. 1 second. Um, yeah, information is only a finger click away. Just look up the guy's information and see what he's doing, why, what was his reasons for purchasing Essence, and see how he's moving. And then you can kind of understand why he purchased Essence and, so forth like that rather than guessing. So let's see. He purchased it in 2018, bringing it back to fully Black ownership. Okay. So he was born in Liberia. He moved to Sierra Leone and then eventually to the USA, where he earned a degree from Babson College. I never heard of that college. I never heard of that college. He co-founded, I'm gonna let that go. 1 second. So yeah. So yeah, he let me get back to it right quick. So let's see. He co-founded Sundial Brands, which is the parent of Shea Marshta, Nubian Heritage, Madam C.J. Walker, growing it into a major personal care business and later selling it to Unilever. He also deeply invested. He also deeply invested in African shea corporatives and women-led entrepreneurships. Okay, one second. So he owns something of Madam C.J. Walker as well. Okay, so it wasn't his first Black American purchase. I think Madam Walker had some type of hair care product out there that he purchased. Okay, so the acquisition of Essence magazine he purchased in 2018. His group Essence Ventures LLC acquired Essence magazine and related assets from Time Incorporated. Okay, that's a white corporation. Okay, they sold it to him, and we're gonna look at the price in a minute, how much it was sold for. So the acquisition was driven not just by business goals, but cultural purposes. So this is the reason he purchased Essence, not just for business goals, but he has some type of cultural purpose for purchasing Essence. Okay, he might be on that Pan African shit. But anyways, let's get to the readings. Dennis emphasized that Essence is more than a magazine. Okay, he says Essence is more than a magazine, it's a community and a cultural institution. Right. It was FBA. This is not his culture now, but he moved to America, and a lot of immigrants believe they are Black American, which is incorrect because Black American describes ADOS FBA Foundation of Black Americans. Other people have to be correct in identifying themselves with their origin as a Nigerian American, Liberian American, or something like that. You know what I mean? But he's one of those that thinks that Black American equals Black immigrant, which is incorrect. So let's continue to reading. He purchased it and he emphasized that Essence is more than a magazine, it's a community and a cultural institution. Now, let me say this right here. Let me make this understood. I don't think in no way, I think it get misunderstood when Black America says you're not ADOS FBA, that's our culture. And it gets misunderstood by the Black immigrant that we don't want to have anything to do with them and we hate them. No, nobody hates you, honey. We don't, you're not doing anything to us. Okay. There's a force here that been present way before your ass showed up that Black America has been dealing with and still is dealing with. We have no time for your foolishness. What we are saying is we want to have our culture. We want to gatekeep it. We don't want to be pan African because it's not good for us. Our children, our descendants need to know that this was created, invented, founded, and established by Black Americans, aka ADOS FBA, Foundation of Black Americans. But to have other people come to the country and lay hold on it and say, no, we discovered that. It belongs to all of us. That is disrespectful. It's like a bunch of Black Americans moving to Jamaica and saying, claiming hold of Jamaican achievements and saying it belongs to all of us. That's disrespectful. Okay. It's very disrespectful. And I think that's the misunderstanding of it all is that when we proclaim that we want to gatekeep our culture, not just from not just from Black immigrants, from Caucasians and all of that too, who might be, listen, they didn't fucking stole rock and roll. I was on one platform and a white guy getting mad. He like, oh, you can't say you you guys founded rock and roll. I'm like, well, baby, you need to go through the history. Go ahead, search it out. You're gonna have your feelings gonna get hurt because you're gonna find out all this time you thought it was white. It's not jazz. They damn near took over jazz, but jazz, now it remains ours a lot heavily, especially in Louisiana where I'm from. So, anyways, country, they didn't took over the country music. Okay. So we are trying to fight to gatekeep our culture because we realize that when we don't, this is what happens. People come in and take over our music genres and claim them, our cultural events and claim them. Like where I live at is international. And the Juneteenth festival just ended, right? And yes, this been going on for a few years now. It's hosted by Black immigrants. Yeah, it's hosted by Black immigrants. Um, it's I rarely see any Americans in a place where I live at. So Black Americans in this particular area is a little bit more international, but it's hosted by them. And they serve at the event a lot of jerk chicken and stuff like that. And they bring their dishes in, you know what I mean? What do I think about it personally? Hey, I think that Black people, one second. I think that we finally understand it in order to um, we have to gatekeep. We just waking up to it, and it's gonna be a little tug of war to get it apart. But they can participate though. Just don't make it a your thing. Like they be saying, it's everybody's thing. Well, actually, it's for people that was enslaved in America. Okay. Maybe we should start. This is what I think. I think that people need to start putting together Pan African festivals. That's what I think. That is what I really think. I think that would be an awesome thing. It's clearly needed, right? Because a lot of Black immigrants here wants to claim hold of a lot of things. And unfortunately, when they do, they claim a hold of ADOS FBA things. And ADOS FBA is like, get your hands off. That's not true. That's not yours. So I believe that ADOS, I'm going to get back to the topic in a second. I believe that um, all the immigrants here, they have to come together, different immigrant cultures, and establish Pan African celebrations and events. I think that would be a wonderful thing. You know what I mean? I think that would be wonderful. Now, as I said, I live in an international community. And so just recently, because it's summertime and they're having a lot of festivals go on, they just had a Muslim festival. So I went to check it out because I live directly across the street from the park, like right across the street. And the music is, ooh. So I'm like, let me go see what's going on. And so I went over to check it out and I didn't realize that day I just was going to be nosy and I put on my scarf. You know how we wrap our hair with the head scarf? And when I went over there, I realized it was a Muslim festival. And the people was greeting me, hey, how you doing, sister? All that. And I'm like, oh, okay, they're nice. They're welcoming. That's nice. And then as I was coming back, I'm like, oh shit, that's because they think I'm a Muslim. I had on a scarf. Anyways, listen. So then they just had another festival. It was entered like 2 days ago, and I go to the park to exercise, of course. And so the festival was for It was a lot of black people dressed in these, looked at like Quakers or some crap. And I figured it was some type of church event or whatever. It's a big park. And so I stopped to check it out, see what's going on. And it was an event for interfaith people, something like that. He said it was interdenominational or something like that event where all different faiths come together and celebrate or enjoy themselves or congregate. Okay. And so um me and a guy talked for like 30 minutes and I just wanted to ask that one question, but the conversation went on and on and on. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready to bounce. I know I'm beautiful and all, but listen, sir, I know he wasn't married because he had me standing there too long, just going into conversation after conversation. I'm like, yeah. Um, but of course, we conversated respectfully. He was Kenyan. We conversated respectfully. He gave me a lot of information and all type of stuff like that, right? And so again, what if I felt that the Muslims, shouldn't have a celebration of their own? It should be not a celebration of theirs. Do you follow what I'm saying? That would be wrong because they're holding a gathering, a celebration for them, for their ethnic belief or culture. And there's nothing wrong with that. Same thing with the interfaith. They're holding an event for people to come and congregate from all different faiths and congregate and get to know each other, be friendly, whatever. What if I felt, oh well, you see, I'm laying claim to what other people in their group got going on. Whatever it is I would like to see, then I should go and put it together. It doesn't take a genius to, let me turn this down. It doesn't take a genius to set up an event. It really doesn't. It's not that complicated. Okay. You rent some things, pay some people to come and set up the stage or whatever. It's not complicated. I think that Pan African people, there's a lot of Pan African people that want to come together and celebrate the Pan African. Do your own thing. Don't lay hold of somebody else's cultural festivals, events, or cultural institutions and things like that. It's not complicated to start a college, people. You know that? Do you know you can start a college? That's nothing complicated. Do you know I read a story about a man who came out of rehab. He said he partied his 20s away, party, and was on drugs, all that. He went to rehab, got out of rehab, and his friend brought him in to a partnership of four white guys, and they established a college, a university. You know the money it brings in, right? The more students, the more money and stuff. They established a university. Blacks established their colleges, and other people can establish their colleges as well. That's what I think. I think that people should let other people's stuff be and establish your institutions in America. It doesn't take a genius to do it. There's LLCs all over the place. The foreigners do it. The non-black foreigners, they come here and establish their own little institutions as well. They have all kind of Asian institutions. They establish their own banks. That's what I think. And we wouldn't have that issue then. Okay. So Black America, which is ADOS FBA people, they're entitled to have their own cultural things and gatekeep it. And Pan Africans, a lot of Black immigrant groups that's here, they're entitled to establish their own and hold tight to it as well. Because I remember hearing Chrissy on Dinah's panel, and she said when they go to a Caribbean festival, they're not going there to hear rap or whatever. They're going to celebrate their cultural ethnic history. And that's my take on it. Back to the topic. This man, I still give him an applaud. Pop, pop. I still applaud him because he, as he says right here in this article, the acquisition was driven not just by business goals, but cultural purposes. Dennis, that's the owner who bought Essence, emphasized that Essence is more than a magazine, it's a community and a cultural institution. Dennis maintained a leadership role. So when he bought it, he maintained a leadership role of Essence, while Michelle Ebanks continued as the longtime president. Maybe that's the Kenyan lady. The all black female executive. Oh, all black female. Hold tight to that because I'm going to continue to read about what he's doing. I think this man is on the right path. So, the all black female executive team also gained equity stakes in the organization. All right. So, it goes why it matters. Essence was founded in 1970 by Black women to serve African American women. That's ADOS FBA in particular, okay? So Essence was founded in 1970 by Black women to serve African American women, and the acquisition signified a return to the magazine's roots as a Black owned platform with mission aligned leadership. One second. One second. Yeah. So back to what I was saying. So again, Essence was founded in 1970 by Black women to serve African American women, ADOS FBA women in particular. And when he purchased the company, he felt it signified a return, the magazine's return to a Black owned platform. Okay, and so the company Essence, it was sold to Time, a white company, before it was sold to Dennis, the Liberian guy. Okay. It was sold to a white company called Time first. And then it was sold to the Liberian guy from the white corporation. And he stated why he bought it. He purchased it because he's into Black entrepreneur type of stuff. Okay. Let's continue to read. I want to talk about how much this cost. One second, I'm typing it up. We have information at our fingertips. There's no reason not to get the information. Okay, just click, click. All right, so let's talk about the money now. Okay, how much stuff was. So how much was Shea Butter, a Shea Moisture, was worth when he sold his company? Okay, so I'm gonna just say his last name because I don't know how to pronounce the first name, Richelieu or something. Dennis, alongside his mother and co-founders, built Sundown Brands, home to Shea Moisture, Nubian Heritage, and Madam C.J. Walker, which is a Black American owner that he clearly purchased. Okay, he turned it into a major beauty company. Or I'm not sure now. I can't say that. Let me see. Did he purchase? We're gonna ask that question. Did he purchase? Because he may have been somebody that came up with, no, he didn't come up with the line because that was. I'm on my tablet, so my typing a little slow. Okay, let's go back up here first before we read that. And so the company, all of his company products corporations fall under Sundial Brands. Okay, it's a major beauty company for Blacks. In 2017, Unilever acquired Sundial Brands for approximately 1.6 billion in a landmark deal. Okay, now we don't know what landmark means. A landmark deal, we can type it up and see. Landmark deal. Okay, so yes, the 1.6 billion sale of Sundial Brands included Shea Marsh the Nubian. Okay, so he sold all of his beauty corporations to Unilever in 2017. It was considered a landmark deal for several reasons. It was the largest natural Black owned beauty acquisition. Okay, it was one of the biggest acquisitions of a Black owned personal care company in the US history. Okay, the deal showed the economic power of Black consumers and entrepreneurs in the beauty industry. I know that's right, honey. Black women gonna look good now. I don't care what's going on out there. Them women gonna look good, sweetheart. Okay, that's one thing I always say. When it comes to, I don't care if they got a family, them women gonna look good, sweetie. Listen, and the entrepreneurs in the beauty industry, which had long been undeserved or co-opted by non-Black companies, culturally conscious terms, Dennis negotiated a unique agreement, the creation of the New Voices Fund, seeded with 100 million from the deal to invest in Black women entrepreneurship. That's what I was getting into. Okay, so with his deal, he brought forth a whole bunch of Black entrepreneurs. He's into the Black, building up Black women. That's what I read about him. Okay, and I liked about him because all of his business, all of his business ideas and moves is geared towards building up Black women. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yes, indeed. So I was like, okay, bravo, bravo. All right. So this made it more than just a buyout. It invested directly into the Black business ecosystem. It maintained purpose-driven ownership ethos. Okay. Okay, so he remained CEO and continued shaping the brand even after it was sold. Y'all hear that? Well, now wait a minute. Okay, so you sold your company for 1.6 billion, all your corporations under sundown, you sold to timeshare. It was the biggest deal in the black beauty industry. And you remain CEO. Okay, so they still paying him to remain CEO. Okay, that's more money then. Okay, okay. All right. Let's see. Because once these white people purchase a black-owned company, if he don't stay, they're gonna have to find somebody that's black to really push it. You gotta have a black face to push it. Okay. Now I remember when he sold Shea Moisture because everybody was mad about that. They was like, I remember that. They was like, why would you sell a black company? And that was some time ago. I remember that. Um, so he sold his whole, what was it worth again? It wasn't worth 1.6 billion, of course, when he sold it. Let me go back up to what it was worth again. Okay, so it's usually not public. He didn't give how much he purchased Essence for. It says it's not publicly disclosed. Okay, it's not for the public. He didn't give that information. So let me go see what his company was worth. He got 1.6 billion for it. Okay, it's not telling me what his company was worth when he sold it. But listen, if he was able to sell it, somebody wanted to purchase it because they felt they can um, get more from this brand. Okay, so that's why it was sellable because they. No, I made a mistake and clicked off of the because they can get more for the brand. I made a mistake and clicked. Okay, let me see if I can get it back up. No, I'm gonna have to type it up again. So I talked about he sold his brand for 1.6 billion. He sold it to a white corporation. He turned around and buys Essence because he wanted to do a lot of, from what I had read, my understandings of reading yesterday night, it seems to me he's trying to build some type of black woman power structure. All of his funds and all of that kind of stuff, like funding programs, is geared towards black women entrepreneurs. I kid you not. That's why I say bravo to him. I like him. And I was like, wow, big ups to that. Okay, let me type it back up because I want to know why he's geared toward. Because, to be honest with you, I always say shit ain't going to change until black women step up. It's really not going to change until the women step up. You know what I mean? Our men have had a lot of time to get shit together. And, unfortunately, Delilah pussy distracts them. I'm sorry. Y'all know in the Bible, Delilah and Samson. Okay, hello. So next thing you know, they throw it off. They throw it off and they confused. And I think that, it's enough of that. Enough of that. When you think back to the 70s and 60s when black men was where they belonged, they did better. So for me, I think that that is definitely the way to go to build up Black women to make that change. I do believe that's the way to go. Let's get back into what Dennis is up to, though. Let me type this back up because I got to type it back up again. Let me see. Mhm. Okay. Let's read into why he's doing it, though, which I think he's on the right track. So here's why he's committed to funding Black women entrepreneurs. Let's read about this. We talked about what college he went. He founded the Sundial Brands, which is a lot of different Black beauty products, corporations, and they all under the Sundial brand. These companies grew into a multi-hundred-million-dollar business later acquired by Unilever. I don't know if Unilever is a Black company or white company. It's likely white, though. I think it's a white company. In January 2018, his holding company, Essence Ventures LLC, acquired Essence from Time Inc., which is a white company, okay? Now, before he even acquired Essence Magazine, he named his company, his LLC, Essence Ventures. Okay. So, returning ownership to a fully Black owned brand for the first time in nearly 2 decades. Why fund Black women entrepreneurs? The mission driven purpose. Dennis has repeatedly emphasized that buying Essence wasn't just a savvy financial move. It was a cultural decision. He aimed to uplift a historic platform meant to serve Black women and communities. Okay. Economic empowerment focus. He launched the New Voices Fund, a $100 million initiative with capital from Unilevel. He used his money, from the Unilevel to start a $100 million initiative to support women of color entrepreneurs with funding, mentorship, and networking. I like that. That's what's up right there, baby. That's what I call building, 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 building. I like that. The Essence Creators and Makers Fund equals approximately $20 million. Backs film. He helps with film, TV, and multimedia projects created by and for Black women. That's what's up. Film, TV, and multimedia projects created by and for Black women. See, Tyler Perry ain't moving like this, baby. Tyler Perry has become a multi-million-dollar man off of pretending to be a Black American woman in disgrace, by the way, not like some spectacular character, and made so much money, but he only built, from what I understand, one housing complex in New Orleans, where he's from. I don't know about him doing anything else for Black people. Besides, he says he helps his community by giving up and coming Black people leeway in acting, that the acting industry, by putting them in movies. Now he has a set income for his actors. A lot of them only earn like 700 a week, and they get to the purpose of it is they get such low income because first of all they're not big actors or anything like that. He's allowing them to showcase their talent on his stage, and that is why the pay is low, because they're not, big actors or big name actors or actress. So yeah. And I guess when he do films that does involve big time names, he does pay in the millions. He paid them above. He does pay them good. Like the movie he just released with Taraji, what's her name? Taraji Henson or something. He paid her like up in the millions, like way above what Hollywood was giving. Because she was complaining that they wasn't paying. Okay. So um that's how he says he helps his community. But I don't know about for as in general population. I don't know of any organizations or anything like that that he established to help Black women in particular. Okay. So that's, we don't tell people what they do with their money. Of course, we just looking at the moves. Okay. We're just examining how they move. All right, let's continue. So he backs films. He helps to pay for film, TV, multimedia projects created by and for Black women. The first funded project debated at Sundance. Ownership and lead. It doesn't say what project that was, of course. Ownership and leadership equity. When he brought Essence, when he bought Essence, he ensured the existing leadership team entirely Black and female executive leadership team. Y'all hear this? Entirely Black female leadership team. Yeah. Was given equity stakes in the company. He gave them equity stakes in the company, reinforcing ownership and influence in decision making. So they're going to have partnership, experience in this company that he's established for them. That's wonderful. Community commerce model. Through the Sophie Tucker Foundation and community commerce initiatives in Africa, notably Ghana, Dennis sources shea butter from women-led cooperatives, dramatically increasing farmers' incomes and supporting women economically in Liberia and Ghana. Now, it doesn't say what he does for women in Liberia, but for the women of Ghana, who um, he get his sources of shea butter from, he hires a lot of farmers, and I guess he give them good pay, and he support them economically. Okay, open up some dang on schools over there for them young ladies. Richie Dennis, a Liberian American entrepreneur, bought Essence to restore Black ownership and cultural integrity to the brand. He channels his capital and influence into empowering Black women entrepreneurs through, y'all hear that? He channels his capital and influence into empower. He channeled his capital and influence into empowering Black women entrepreneurs. That's what our men should be doing. And he's a Liberian. Come on now. I say bravo to that. Okay. He's doing the right things to me, empowering your women. Well, he's not of my ethnic group, but he's empowering women. He's Pan African. He does it through direct investment funds. Like they can go to his company for money. If you're a black woman, you can go to him for funding startups, for funding for your startups. Yeah, that's what's up, huh? Hold on. Audience and media building platforms, ownership and leadership opportunities for black women in business, by transforming Essence from a magazine into a broader content plus commerce plus community platform. Dennis aims to finance a wider Black economic movement. Let's back that up. Dennis aims to finance a wider Black economic movement. Living by credo, the revolution must be financed. Okay. Um, let's see. Yeah, it's so refreshing to hear, to read about a Black man that's all about empowering Black women. That's a beautiful thing. And I really do hope he helped not only the American, he's helping Liberian women and women of Ghana as well, but uh, build that country, help build the country. Over there I'm talking in Liberia. Because a lot of them they have had, this is the type of man you want to be president of your country. Like they've had numerous presidents after the war that has done nothing for the Liberian youth, and it's crazy. It's crazy. They have been getting money from America for a very long time. We're talking millions, and still nothing have been done because people selfishly, they don't care. But this man seems to be quite different. And hopefully they can build the country up with his assistance. Okay, so let's read. There is very little publicly available information about Rich, that's what he's called, Rich Dennis' personal life. All right. So whatever is shared below is based on what's out there and not confirmed by him directly. So his marital status is, oh no, pretty much they're saying that he doesn't give out his personal information, whether he's married or have children. They know little about his personal life. Okay. He has a very private life, and media attention centers on his business, strictly his business and philanthropy and leadership, not his private life. And the profiles out there that's claiming specifics are likely inaccurate or unverified. Okay. Okay. So you know where he went to college. You know where he originates from. He's a African Liberian. I don't know if he's indigenous African or um, Liberian, because Liberians use English names now, and they call themselves Liberians when they're really Indigenous Africans. So that's a form of tethering, by the way. Um, so we don't know if he's American Liberian or what. I don't know. Um, yeah, it didn't say. I can type it in and see what it says. It appears that Rich is what he calls himself. Rich Dennis is a Liberian born, and he's Liberian born and became an American entrepreneur after fleeing civil war in Liberia. Okay, so he was there during the Civil War and establishing his successful businesses in the U.S. Okay. American Liberian refers to um, a specific historical elite class in Liberia, descendants of freed African American or Caribbean slaves who settled the country in the 19th century and formed the ruling class. Available biographical information does not describe Dennis as a miracle Liberian. Rather, he is clearly identified as being born in Liberia to Liberian parents, migrating due to civil war and later becoming an American national. Thus, it's accurate to describe him as Liberian born American, but not part of the American Liberian class. I think that if he was American Liberian, he would proudly state that. He would definitely distinguish that fact if he was American Liberian. That's what I believe. Because American Liberians really don't mess with Liberians, indigenous Liberians, African indigenous Liberians who call themselves Liberian. They don't, American Liberians don't mess with them. There's a bunch of American Liberians right here in America, they don't mess with them. It's still a lot of, uh, you know, it's no relationship there. So, according to blackpast.org, Dennis is married to Martha and have 4 daughters. Although he is generally private about his personal life, that detail appears in a respected historical profile, suggesting it has been reliably sourced. Okay, so that's what we know. Let me see what this says. It's giving us more information about his business ventures. So his wife was supposedly involved in early HR support at Essence. And their daughters, Rachel and Sophia, played leadership roles in launching Essence Girls United, the Gen Z extension of the brand. So, in summary, he's married to Martha Dennis. They have 4 daughters, including Rachel and Sophia, who have taken active roles in initiatives connected with Essence. This time going into his kids, I don't want to read about that. I want to read about the business ventures. One second. I think that's where I'm gonna stop because that was his business ventures. So that was very inspiring. I like reading about stuff like this. It kind of gets you to thinking. You know how you can sell one brand of something that you have. It could be even a YouTube channel, for instance. If your YouTube channel gain a following, like if you're a YouTuber and you gain a following, say of 1 million people, or not even 1 million, sometimes it's 200,000 or 300,000, especially when you get up in that 400,000 range, almost half a million, they'll buy your YouTube channel and keep you as the face of the channel while they didn't bought your channel for 1 million plus. That is what happened to this Asian girl. She started a young girl. She started a makeup channel. Um and her audience became half a million, almost 1 million on her own. And she started organically, by the way. And when you gain a large audience, what happens is YouTube will sponsor. A lot of people sponsor, and then they eventually purchase because this platform is all about money. That's it. They want you're to gather. You are to, how can I put it? It's about making money. It's about them being able to advertise through you and your platform. It's about, if you gain a large gathering, you're likely going to get paid a lot of money because they're going to purchase your YouTube channel to promote a lot of their advertisements. You're going to remain a face likely while you promote their advertisements because you have a following, and what you put out there, the people who like you is going to support you. Okay. And so, that's what happens. You get to sell merchandise. It's a business. You sell stuff. Your following might, they purchase your channel eventually and keep you as the face while you still making money off them while you didn't sold your company, your channel for like 1 million plus. So it's all about making money. It's all about gathering an audience. It's about money on YouTube. Okay. So, um, and there's many other ways to make money too if you happen to not gain a large following for it, like on your platform. But to give that, you have to have a clean platform. Like it can't be no cussing or none of that kind of foolery. You know what I mean? Got to almost be like family type of content, PG type of stuff. Okay. Um. So yeah, that's what it's about. But I like to read about stories like that where somebody's doing great things in a community. That's wonderful. I really like how he is aimed towards building, empowering Black women around the world. That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's Pan African. I like that. Um, yeah, yeah. So that's Miss Chantell's take on the essence. Let me say this because business is business. When it comes to doing business, your company you're probably likely to sell it so that you can invest in even more different brands or establishments you have in the making or whatever people decide to do, whatever. But um what was I about to say? I was about to say something about the culture. Okay. So anyways, Um, Concerning the Essence Festival, turning into a Pan African festival. That's going to be a whole new audience. It's going to take time to build that audience. Who knows? It might not. If they market it good, the next following year, it may be a great event. Transitioning from Black American culture to Pan Africanism. If they promote it heavily and market it properly and really good, yeah, it can turn out really good the next turnaround. And to me, Black American women just can move on, move around, and start their own thing. That's how I see it. It was it was sold off by the original um, creators, and you just start your own thing. That's it. Let's get into some other things I had wanted to talk about. Let me mention this and then I'm going to log off because I got to make a call. So, um, no, I think I'm going to talk about that another time. I'm going to wrap it up right here. I cannot see my chat board from this because I'm on my phone right now. I cannot see the chat, but if anybody is in the chat box, greetings and welcome to the channel. Um, yeah, and thank you for tuning in. If you was in my chat box, I cannot see it though. Let me see private chat. I see private chat, but I cannot see the um. I know it's not on private. I cannot see my chat, like my comment section. Period. Right now. So, again, if anybody was down there, thank you for tuning in. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think about the content. And have a wonderful night.